where we attack today's local or national hottest sports topics. I'm your host, Randy Dutkin, and let's get after it. Good evening, Let's Get It fans, and welcome to another fantastic show. I'm your host, Randy Dutkin, along with my co-host and producer, Jason Bryce, and Marcus Bullock, coming to you on a beautiful Sunday evening. A lot to get into. Going to be talking about a great show, having involved the Phillies, talking a little bit about the Sixers, and in just a little bit, we're going to be having head coach of the Cherry Hill East High School boys football team, Andrew Daly, joining us. But as usual, excuse me, I can't get
as opposed to the girls football team.
Well, you know, listen, it's 2021, man.
You're right.
It's 2021. All right. Just saying, I'm not a part of that. That's separate. So his name is Coach Marcus Bullock. It's Marcus. But as usual, before we get into everything, always like to check in with everyone. Coach, how you doing tonight?
I'm good, man. I'll be honest. I'm tired. I'm definitely tired. Long weekend, but good weekend. Just got a lot of stuff done. Felt productive this weekend, which is always a good feeling. Hopefully that doesn't mean I have an unproductive week, but all is good.
And Jay, how you doing?
Yo, I'm good. Yo, you know what? Listen, let me tell you something. Life is about perseverance, and that's what I'm doing. I'm persevering and I'm navigating. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter, hey, listen, and I'm just going to be straight up, though. Listen, sometimes, things come threatening to tear down, but we still press forward. You know what I'm saying? It could be whatever motives or whatever, we still press forward because I pray every day, no weapon formed. So it's all good. I'm good. I'm flustered, but I'm all right, and we're gonna still persevere. It just means I'm gonna talk a little more bassier, a little more. I don't really give about it. So first thing first, if we going in on them Phillies,
I was gonna say
definitely going there.
I was gonna say I feel like you're gonna come even harder this time around
because they should have got it done. You know what I'm saying? They played the worst team in the league, right? Right or wrong?
No, you're right.
Okay, and they dropped the egg in the clutch. That's all I'm gonna say. But anyway, other than that, I'm doing well, bro. I'm sorry.
Listen, I mean, he's not wrong, and that's the thing. I mean, they're gonna end up. It looks like the last I checked, the Braves were up 4-3 against the Padres. I don't know. I have to get the latest update for you, but it looks like they're gonna drop 2.5 games back in the NL East with the big 3-game series starting in Atlanta on Tuesday night. But like you said, Jay, and I've defended this team a lot. They have not been able to take care of the clutch when it's needed to. I mean, they got swept by the Rockies. They lost to the Pirates. They took 5 out of 7 on the homestand. But when you have teams like the Pirates, and you have a setup like today where you're a game and a half back in the division, you finally got a little bit more fans out yesterday to the game. Today was the home series finale, and you pretty much have maybe your worst game of the season. I mean, as far as just your performance, you got they had a rookie pitcher starting, Hans Kraus, like I'd call him the mustache. Guy's got an old school, looks like an 1890s ball player. The way that he had his mustache, did a good job. 3 innings pitched, 1 earned run, but it was funny. Like Coach said when we were talking before the show started, his first pitch in the majors was taken deep for a home run. So it was like, wow, what a start tonight.
At least he settled.
But that's the thing. He settled in. You couldn't have asked for more from this guy, like I said, to give you an opportunity. But after that, you then just, they had nothing. And the offense managed 6 hits today, which you can't have that come through. And like I was saying before, to you, Coach, was you can't have a situation where with the series finale at home, you are in a position where you're starting a guy who had one other start above the AA level in one of the most important games of the season. So, that comes to the way that the rosters are created. I don't know if they talked about too, and they mentioned it on the broadcast today about adjusting the rotation. I mean, guys used to go on like 4 days rest, 3 days rest all the time down the stretch. I remember watching guys like Curt Schilling, guys like Tom Glavine, Mike Mussina, Andy Pettit, all the, those guys, they would.
Are you going to throw Ranger Suarez into that?
Listen. I mean, Ranger's been nice. Ranger's been very nice, but he doesn't meet that.
He showed up the other night.
He did. He doesn't meet that level of credibility yet. But it's just like those guys stepped up and they said, they always did 3 days rest. And I just don't understand where it's at. Like in this situation, I would have liked to seen, like the Zach Wheeler pitch on 3 days rest, pitch on 4 days rest. Like that's why you're paying these guys to come up clutch. And, they go into Atlanta. Like I said, I'm going to do a check. Like I said, we'll see where they're at. But, you're pretty much going to have to sweep the Braves team, and they're not going to do that. It's just not going to happen.
In Atlanta, too.
Yes.
Right. So, I was talking with some good brothers yesterday. Shout out Joey Arce and Jose Esquilin. I think it's Esquilin or something like that. And we talking baseball. It's my church brothers talking baseball, and they're big time Philly fans. You know what I'm saying? And they just say they were talking about the hot and cold, the temperature, and how they needed more. More weapons.
Yes.
They're very happy with Bryce. So of course, I got to throw out my strategy or my ideology with JT Real Muto, and he's like, oh yeah, but I wouldn't have paid that much for a catcher, but they had to, but they wouldn't have paid that much for a catcher. So see, and this is what I'm saying: if that decision is made different, then you have another arm in these predicaments. I'm just saying. No,
you're not wrong.
Other pieces.
You're not wrong, Jay.
You know what I'm saying?
Go ahead, Coach.
And I think we've had this conversation before. You don't. Okay, most teams will not pay that much for a catcher, and that's fine. But if you're gonna say you have that arm, okay, and now you have another
you basically
average player somewhere in the field.
You would have another Kyle Gibson out there or someone like that.
So now you're missing. Now, Real Muto hasn't had the season that he was paid to have. However, he's had some games where he's won them the game.
Sure.
So you take that out. Now you're not even in the mix, though. Now, they're still not good enough right now.
Right.
With him, and he hasn't lived up to his contract.
Right,
but if you take him out and add another average arm and another average player in the field, which is what you're going to get for his money,
right?
I feel like you're even worse.
I mean, and I guess in a sense, I can see that. Yeah. I just think that, and that comes from the brain trust or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But we're talking what makes that happen or what even activates the brain trust is the pool of money that you could have. You need because something stopped them from getting. They didn't just discover they had a pitching problem, right?
I think their biggest issue is this: they went into the season thinking that what they had was better than what it is. I mean, you got to remember they went into the season. You got Vince Velasquez, who is not
at best.
No,
less than that.
No, way less than that. Not even on the team last night, and not even on the team anymore.
Okay.
You got Matt Moore, who was brought in, not even pitching anymore. And then of course, you got to look at a guy like Aaron Nola, who's supposed to be a strong number 2, who has been very disappointing.
Everything happened. You can have up and down years. I mean, it happens.
No, you're right.
Unless your name's JT Rubin, so you're not allowed to do that.
Not allowed to struggle. But that's the thing. But then
listen. I've seen you defend Carson Wentz even under worse conditions. So I'm just saying, okay,
right?
Okay, I'm coming today, baby.
I know he's loaded. He's
activated.
I think the biggest problem they have is their farm system.
Yes,
because now you're
100%.
trying. You don't have any, and it goes for every sport. The teams that win always have major contributors that are underpaid because they're young.
Sure.
Yeah, like you look at a team like you look at the Braves. The Braves, they have all of their infield right now, except for Duvall, but all their infield is homegrown talent. Right. Freddie Freeman, Ozzie Albies, Dansby Swanson. You got guys that are homegrown talent.
Right.
But then even guys, like you said, look at like last year with the Rays, they had the guy, Randy Arozarena, who was in the playoffs, just hitting home runs left and right. If you're going to be successful, like Coach said, you have to have those contributions from younger guys, and they don't have it. Like even today, like the guy that came up, he came up kind of out of necessity. At no other point was he really meant to be brought up. Like he wasn't looking. We didn't circle him and say. And he was part of the midseason trade that brought Kyle Gibson over and Ian Kennedy. Like he was just a throw-in. Nobody looked at him and said, you know what, this guy's going to be able to step in and be a big game pitcher. And and that's what it boils down to. It boils down to the fact that they don't have that. The bullpen has been better. I mean, but the bullpen still has blown 34 games at this point. I mean, they've come back to win some, and the team, the fact that we're sitting here on this Sunday and talking about the fact that they're still, have a shot, and if they go out and they do handle business in Atlanta, they'll still be up for it, is amazing, because they really should be out of it and they should be knocked out. But my biggest question too is, and this is going to come later on down the line, is, how does this team get fixed in the offseason? Because you need multiple pitchers. There's going to be a lot of people that are calling for, Joe Girardi and different moves like that. But guys haven't worked out. Your boy Archie Bradley hasn't worked out.
Wait, my boy?
Yeah, your boy.
Your boy.
Yeah.
Archie. Now, listen. They should have gotten it done. I mean, they're playing the worst team in the league, right? Well, are they worse? They're worse than the Mets too, right?
Who, the Pirates?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And they lose. Who was pitching?
I don't even know.
Right. So you expect him to go out there and do a bend.
Oh no, you're talking about.
You know what I'm saying? Like
For the Phillies, who was pitching?
Yeah, who's pitching for the Phillies?
Hans Krause.
Okay, I don't know who that is, but
his first start.
Yeah, it was a young guy who they brought up.
They brought up for him. They couldn't get anybody else. Like I was just saying, you couldn't get nobody off waivers, nobody off nothing. You couldn't find no arm out there. You found this dude.
Well, no, this guy actually did all right.
He did okay.
He did okay.
So then what was the score? I didn't watch the game.
It was 6-0.
So then
it was offense.
He gave up one.
He gave up one.
And they scored 5 in the last 3.
Yeah, because that's the thing though. You brought in you brought in guys like Rosso and Medina, who are just not ready. I'm just saying these are guys that, but the thing is, these are guys that you've actually looked at.
Like a wine, Ross and Medina. I don't know what.
Did you have the Rosso in from the Medina video?
I don't know.
You're right, but these are guys too. That the sad thing is that the organization has looked at and said we can bring these guys up and they can be successful. Like Adonis Medina was supposed to be one of your top pitching prospect. He looks like he hasn't. Rosso was terrible, and he looks like he didn't even know what was going on. I know he balked. He had wild pitches, and you see the frustration. And it's terrible that in your last home game of the season, when you were getting a little bit of momentum going, you were getting booed off the field. And I give the Bryce, credit. He's like, we're gonna thank you guys for coming out here. We're gonna see you on October 11th for Game 3 of the NLDS. Of course, he's got to say that. Now, Bryce has done his thing. He's hands down the MVP, and he's going to be named that. I mean, he's been absolutely unreal.
You think he's going to get it even if they don't make the playoffs?
Yeah, I think he will. Just because of the numbers he's put up. I mean, you also look at the second, like the guys in I would say behind him, they were like Tatis and Muncy. Their teams have fallen off too, while the Phillies are still in the race, right. Especially if they're into it up until like this coming weekend, and they get eliminated a game or two behind. If they go in and and this series against the Braves, I think he is going to really put a closure on it if he does do well. If he goes in and has a big series, But you look into him, and they've had some surprises, like you said. Ranger Suarez has been fantastic, But they're at the end of the day, we talked about it before. They're not a good team. They're not, and
it's amazing. Like you said earlier, it's amazing we're still even talking about it, because there was. I mean, after they went on the win streak. What was that? Early August, July, whenever.
Yeah, they had the 8-game win streak,
and then after that, it was like it was over. It was done, and then now we're still talking to them, which is surprising.
Yeah, and and that's the thing. It's just it's exciting, but I mean, like I said, you look at the season, you know what they were going to be, and this is kind of exactly what I thought they were going to be. I remember talking beginning of the season, I thought they'd be somewhere between like a 84 and 88 win team, with the 88 being the max, and that's kind of right where they're going to end up.
Right.
And also the Braves have hung around because of injuries too. If the Braves are healthy, they're 10 or 12 games up in the division. Right. I mean, they lost Acuna, but once again, they went out. They made great moves. They got Jock Peterson. They got Jorge Soler, guys that helped their outfield, their infield. Moves that the Phillies had to make, and they didn't. And so. It's it's frustrating, but that's kind of where we're at.
And they did make some moves. I mean, because listen. I just think you paid too much money for Roy Moto. I'm sorry, I keep going back there. You paid too much money for him.
Yeah, but the thing is, but in a situation where you don't have a salary cap, that's not the issue.
Okay, and it goes back to what I said about the farm system. You don't have anything to trade for him. You don't have anything to trade to go get other.
Yeah, like you have to go.
You don't have anything. That's there.
And the other thing is too, like you were saying, is that when you look at it, we have money coming off the books though next year too. So like, yeah, right now you're paying a lot for Real Muto, because of the look at the whole scheme of the salary of the team. Excuse me. But next year you got a lot that comes off the books. Like I said, McCutcheon comes off the books. Other guys come off the books, and it's going to be you're going to have some more money to wiggle room. But next year you look at it and you say, you need a left fielder. You go into the season, you say, is Herrera an answer in center field? I mean, I think he's good enough. You got your right fielder. Third base is a huge question mark. You don't have a third baseman. You can't throw Didi Gregorius back out there at shortstop. He's old and terrible. Segura.
He's 31.
Bro, he's been awful this year.
People have bad years. Listen, again, Carson had several bad years.
Why are we bringing up Carson?
No, I'm just saying,
I just don't understand.
Because you were.
Because the thing is, though.
No, you had reasons for him. People have bad years. They're gonna turn. That's the one thing good about baseball. Baseball, the longevity of that sport. Like you could go hot and then have like a little, a slump or a year or two, and then come back and work it all out.
You could, but the thing is, his defense is what's so bad right now.
He's always taking chances. He's always been flippy or whatever, But
the thing is this: you're still looking around. The good thing is the DH is going to come into play most likely next season in the NL, and that will help.
Really?
Oh, really?
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't know that. Oh,
which I don't like that. I like the two different divisions. The different leagues. I still like old school baseball, which still blows my mind that these players do not do it more often, like with the shift on, and you have the whole like the other night though, Bryce did it, laid out a bunt and got a double, and I was like, that's amazing.
Yeah, I don't understand.
Because the thing is, if you just show it, then they have to respect it.
Yep.
And I don't understand why they don't do it.
Sounds like Ben Simmons-esque.
But
if you just do it, they have to respect it.
They got to respect it. And I can tell you one thing. First of all, because I know we got to introduce something, but listen, let's go Yankees though. Let's go Yankees.
No,
I'm more of a Red Sox guy.
I got you. Oh wow.
Yeah, we've had this conversation.
That's right. Yeah, you did. But that was more of the area.
Right.
But you're back home now. Come on, you're back down.
I don't keep switching.
Oh, you just stay. Oh,
you gotta stay. You gotta have some wheels.
I got you. Let's go Yankees.
Well, we'll get into that. But with that said, Coach, how you doing? We appreciate you joining us tonight.
Hey, I'm happy to be on, man. I appreciate you guys having me. When you asked me to come on, man, I checked out the podcast and the show. Man, you guys do a good job, so I'm excited to be on.
Thank you. Once again, we are joined by head coach for Cherry Hill East High School football, Andrew Daly, who's been nice enough to join us tonight. I know, Coach, appreciate you joining us after a little bit of technical difficulty to start. But, Coach, like I said, we've been kind of
I do coach the boys and the girls football team at Cherry Hill East. So.
Do you get paid for both? Is the question.
Yeah, we do all right. So I'm just playing around.
It's okay. That's okay. Well, listen, Coach. I know, like I said, you have a really cool story, and I kind of got a chance to talk to you the other day and get a little bit of background. But it's kind of just share with our audience, kind of your background, history, kind of how you came about getting this job, and we'll kind of get into a little bit of that.
Yeah. So it's kind of a long story, but for time commitments and time purposes, I'll try and keep it short. I graduated from Eastern High School in 2007. Went down to Towson University. Played down there for 2 years. Coaching staff got fired, and in Division I, man, it's more of a business than anything. So coaching staff got fired. I decided to transfer out. I transferred to a school called Gannon University, which is a Division II school out in Erie, Pennsylvania. They were the only D2 school to give me a full ride. So I went to Erie, and I don't know if you guys ever been to Erie, Pennsylvania, but there's not much to do out there. So I didn't last Coach, very long. Good.
Okay.
I have been out there, and that's exactly what I was going to say. Not much going on.
No, and I was out there in the winter too. So with the lake effect snow, it was really bad, man. I went through a stage of depression out there. It was crazy. But wow. Yeah, it was wild. I was there for 3 months. I decided it wasn't for me. Came back home. I actually moved down to North Carolina. I was living with my cousin, and I was I was done with football, and I always wanted to be a chef, so I was going to go to culinary school, and North Carolina had the cheapest culinary school, so I moved down there. And just a weird way it worked out was one of my buddies was at Rowan and heard that I was home, and he got me in contact with the head coach at Rowan at the time, and they called me up. It was I'll never forget it, and this is a God honest truth story.
That's a good yes.
Yeah, so he calls me on a Sunday night, and he's like, "Hey, what are you doing?" I'm like, "Well, I'm in North Carolina right now. I don't have much going on." But he was like, "If I can get you into school, would you come down and play?" I mean, this is like middle of September at the time, or like early September, so the season had already started. And I'm like I'm in North Carolina. Like, I don't know what you want me to do. Like, I drove home from North Carolina all through the night Sunday. Honest to God, I was on campus at like 8:00, met with them, and I was sitting in my first class by like 10:30. So it was kind of crazy how that worked out. I don't know how it happened. Yeah, I don't know how it happened, but it was wild. But I played a season there at Rowan. It didn't work out. Got the opportunity to go overseas. I played professionally in Germany for a couple years. It was really fun to be able to get the chance to get paid to play and travel the world. Played there for the better part of 2 seasons and came back, and I messed around in the arena, not the Arena League, but in one of the arena leagues, like one of the minor league systems here. I played out in New York, Pennsylvania for a year, and then the arena game was tough, man. I decided that I was done, so that was my last time playing, and I got into coaching. So.
Now, I mean, like I said, I know you did a lot, like I said, with Rowan, and I said being a former, Rowan alumni, I'm a fan of that. I think the, kind of transitioning kind of into your coaching career at the high school level, and I think it's pretty cool to, talk about that. Kind of, get a little bit into that with us for us.
Sure. Yeah. So, after my time in the arena, playing arena ball, I decided I wanted to get into coaching. I actually got my start over at Sterling High School, which I grew up in Somerdale, and then I moved to Gibbsboro later. But I got my start at Sterling High School. It was kind of a weird way that happened. The head coach over at Sterling, Clint Wiley at the time, actually recruited me. He was coaching at Villanova, and he recruited me at Villanova. So we already had a relationship, and I just ran into him one night, and he asked me what I was doing, and I was like, nothing. And, he decided he asked me to come. I coached there for a year, went over to Cherry Hill West and coach Wright for a year. And then I kind of got my break and got into college coaching and got the opportunity to become the offensive coordinator at Jersey Coast Academy, which at the time was New Jersey's only junior college football program. So I was like 25, 26 years old as an offensive coordinator. So it was, a good experience for me. And then from there, I went to Delaware Valley University, which is one of the top Division III schools in the country. I think they're ranked number like 8 right now. I was a quarterbacks coach there. I learned so much, and I'm still really good friends with all those guys on the staff. I learned so much from the head coach there. And the problem was I didn't have my degree at the time, so all those colleges that I jumped around from, I never got my degree, so I couldn't really progress in the college coaching realm because I didn't have my bachelor's. So there was nowhere for me to go. Like, I had opportunities, for full-time jobs, but I didn't have my degree. So I wound up leaving Del Val. I was selling tile for like 2 years. And at the time I had moved in with my girlfriend, who's now my wife. And after like 2 years of selling tile, like, I just came home every day from work and I was just miserable. And she was like, you need to go back to school. You need to finish your degree, and if you love coaching, then this is what you need to do, and you need to put all your effort into it. So I enrolled in online, Thomas Edison, like online college, and dude, I did 45 credits in 9 months while working a full-time job to finish my bachelor's. So it was like, so it was like 4 classes every 3 months, man. It was wild. So when I wasn't at work, I was doing schoolwork. When I was at work, I was doing schoolwork. I actually, and I could say this now because I've been out of the company for about 5 years. I asked them to transfer me because the place, the hub that I was at was like all the bosses were there. every day, so I couldn't get my work done. So I asked them to transfer me to a different place, and they did. So I sat there every day and went to work and got my schoolwork done on the computer. So I graduated. I went back to Del Valle after I graduated. I coached there for a year. I interviewed for the job at Cherry Hill East. I got that job, but ironically, on the same day, I went. I was flying down to Memphis for an interview for a college position. Got that job too, and kind of had to make a decision. Do I want to pick up my family and move 15 hours away, or do I want to plant roots and become a head coach here in South Jersey? And I chose the head coaching route in high school. So, and that was 4 years ago. So I've been there for 4 years now.
Now I know you told me, Coach, that when you first started at East, you had 9 guys at your first practice.
Yeah. So I took over I think I started in March. In our first workout, we had 9 guys. There was more on the team, but there wasn't much more. So I didn't really know what I had. I think this year, currently we're at like 77, I think. So,
which is unbelievable. I mean, like I was telling you, as a former Cherry Hill East guy, football. We had a football team, don't get it, but it was not big like that. We didn't have a huge program, and Coach, I know you can attest to that too.
For sure, absolutely. Coach, what do you think, being at East, what are your goals moving forward in trying to really grow the program in terms of success on the field? Obviously, you've grown the program in numbers, which is phenomenal. But what are your goals, moving forward for success on the field?
Sure. So, and you mentioned it, growing the numbers was like first and foremost for me when I took over the job. Like, we're a Group 5 school. We got 2,200 kids in our building. There's no reason why we shouldn't have a football team that has, 50, 60 guys on it. So from that aspect, like we've turned that corner, I think. But now the progress comes with the wins and losses. And, obviously the more guys you have, the more you have to choose from. But being able to work with these guys every day and kind of coach up on fundamentals, because a lot of these guys coming in have never played before, and that's okay. Like, as a freshman, if you never played football before, like, dude, we're going to teach you, the fundamentals and get you ready to play. But that's been the hardest part so far is kind of, okay, now we're there with the numbers, but now we gotta follow up with the talent and trying to keep the guys in, at East and like I said, following up with the numbers are there, but let's start following with the wins and the losses here.
Absolutely. Now I know, like, talking about wins and losses, there was at one point the 31 game losing streak, which listen, you say, but as a former East guy, it wasn't that uncommon to have some lack of success there.
Really?
Yeah, we listen.
31.
It was fun. It's a funny story because when I took over, we lost a couple games in the beginning, and the streak had gotten to 32 straight losses. Actually, it was like 1,200 something days in a row. I don't know what it was, but it was like 3 calendar years, and it was 32 losses in a row. And then we finally won our first game. We beat Cumberland, and ironically enough, man, we beat them 32-0. I'll never forget it. So it was kind of crazy. So we all got our picture under the scoreboard. I still got that picture blown up and hanging up in my office, man. That was a weird kind of deal there where, we were 0-32, and in our first game that we win 32-0. So.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I know Jay laughs over here, but like I said, that was kind of.
When was this though? Like many years ago, or this was?
So I took over. I guess my first year was 2018. So it was 2018. I mean, they had lost 32 straight games, from 2015, I guess, on.
Wow. So any football team came in, they just automatically knew, like, oh yeah, we
see.
This
is the tough thing, because these guys, like I said before, these guys, we're a Group 5 school. So these guys were playing a Group 5 schedule with 22 kids on the roster. So you're playing the Cherokees of the world. You're playing the Vinelands, the Timber Creeks. You got no business playing those teams when you can't even line up properly, So, I think the system's a little bit corrected now, because the way it's set up, we play, our schedule's more competitive because of, they set it up by like records and stuff. But dude, they went through that 0-32 span, man. But they're playing teams like the teams that you hear about all the time, and they really had no business doing that. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And like Jay last, like I said, when I was at East, I guess was it 2000 and 2003, and during that time, we looked at one game on the season every year that we can maybe win, and that was our Thanksgiving game against Cherry Hill West. Otherwise, you knew it wasn't going to be pretty. So
Right.
the history kind of says that too.
So it wasn't.
And
really,
the crazy part is about that East rivalry is, dude, East could be 0-9 and West could be 9-0, and it's always going to be a close game because just like nothing. You can't go by paper for the East-West game.
Yeah, the kids know each other probably. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely.
Weaknesses and stuff. Wow.
It's so like I know actually we talked a little bit just kind of about but what is your as a coach, and like 'cause everyone here in this room has been coaches. I told you I coach also coaches currently, and Jay's coached. What is your basic mentality like to drive home a fundamental of your team? When it comes to what do you kind of try to drive home as this is what our team is built around.
Yeah. So what I tell my guys all the time, man, is football is 11 individual fights every play. And you look across from you, and there's a dude in next to you that wants to beat you every single play. And if you have the mentality of, dude, you're not going to beat me this play, I'm going to beat you, and 11 guys beat the other 11 guys every play, then we'll be successful. And I try and drive that into my guys, man. Like I said, do your job, win every play, and the rest will take care of itself. And that's kind of what I'm trying to, drive home with my guys. And dude, we're getting there, man. It's a slow process, but we're getting there.
No, absolutely. Coach, what about yourself? What do you have for Coach?
I want to go back to something you spoke about earlier with, you said some of your kids have never played before. And I completely understand that. Do you think the youth football, and I'm not speaking in Cherry Hill, I'm speaking in general, do you think it's being promoted, pushed, taught the right way to get these kids early to get their attention early so that when they get to you, they're more, seasoned and ready to go? Or do you think that's a problem in the area?
I can't speak on being taught properly because that's an individual basis. But as far as promotion goes, I don't think tackle football is being promoted the way it used to be. My mindset is, football, the numbers overall are declining, I think, nationwide. But if you really kind of peel it back, dude, football has never been safer than it is today. And I think that scares a lot of people, from a lot of parents, from their kids play at a young age. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not an advocate for a 5-year-old out there and putting pads on and tackle football. Like, I'm fine with, like, if you want to play flag football until 6th grade, and once your body starts to mature and you start to come into your muscles and all that stuff, and you want to put the pads on in 6th, 7th, and 8th grade and kind of learn the game, I'm fine with that. But the fact is, like, football has never been safer with the protocols in place, with concussions, with heat acclimation, and we can't even practice now if it's over 90 degrees. Like it's the game has changed so much, and like I said, it's never been safer. I don't think that youth football is being promoted as much as it should, because I think people are scared of it, but they're scared of it for the wrong reasons. They're scared of it because of what they read and what they see on TV. But if you actually peel it back, man, and did some research, football has never been safer than it is today.
And it's interesting you say that, Coach, because I have, friends of mine that live all over the country. And like, for example, like in Florida, they have like 6U programs where they actually have like national rankings for like the 6 under teams. Mm-hmm. And I'm just looking at it and I'm like mind blown that, at that young of an age, they are going to that extreme to have national rankings for the teams.
How do you teach how do you teach a 6-year-old to keep his head up every time he tackles and do it consistently?
Right.
I don't think there's a way. There's not a way to do it. And no, I don't get it, man.
No, I don't. And I think you bring a good point up, though, about this being the safest time to play football than there was before, especially with the protocols and even just the way the helmets are made. And,
sure.
Obviously the hitting has been, relegated a lot more with targeting penalties and things like that. Just kind of be, now everyone, if, you helmet to helmet, you're gone. So
Right.
With that said, I know you're a big college football fan too.
Mhm.
And college is yours. Do you think that it's been a little overdone? Like, for example, I guess it was, what game was I watching? There was Texas A&M and Arkansas. And am I correct? Yeah. Then there was a penalty.
So, yeah. I mean, you can look at the Penn State game last week with Penn State Auburn. Like that targeting foul has gone viral. But I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. I'll let you finish.
No, that's fine. And that's kind of where I was going at. Like, I saw that the guy made a great block. He led what basically was shoulder first. Didn't even make helmet-to-helmet contact, and got a penalty for it. And it was like, what? I know that there's safety measures, but at some point too, there's still people want to see hits and want to see that aspect of the game.
Sure, I have pretty strong feelings about it. I think the targeting fouls in college football is one of the biggest problems with college football. Not that targeting doesn't need to be a part of the game, but there needs to be a better judge of, was it egregious? Was it a defenseless player versus was it incidental helmet to helmet or an incidental shot above the shoulders? Because now if you bring that into the game, you could have and just like they do in basketball, and I'm admittedly not like, I don't watch a ton of basketball, but like, all right, so you have targeting 1 and targeting 2. Now targeting 1 is complete defenseless player, disregard for the game, whatever. Okay, automatic ejection plus the 15 yards. Now, targeting 2 could still be the same thing. Now, it's still contact to the head, but it's not intentional. All right, so now you get a 15-yard penalty, but the kid stays in the game. Like, dude, you're talking about college football players getting kicked out of games sometimes in the first minute or two, and it's ridiculous because there's no gray area. There's no in between. It's either you're targeting and you're ejected or you're not. And there should be, like I said, different levels of the targeting measure, I think.
And I mean, that happened, it was last year or the year before in the college semifinal game where one of the big players got,
I think it was Clemson, that linebacker from Clemson. Like, he's been kicked out more times than I could count, but I don't know.
It's just interesting, and I know you say that, and it's just kind of something I always talk about, like with college football, and it's it goes back, I said, to the younger, high school level and whatnot, and how much is that really called at the high school level right now? And obviously, they want safety, but kind of where's that kind of been drawn the line on?
So it doesn't happen a whole lot in high school, and I'm not 100% sure of the exact ruling on it, but there's no replay in high school. All right. So to make a judgment call like that and kick a player out of the game in high school, it's kind of like I said, it's a tough thing to do. I have seen it called. I could be wrong, but I'm not even maybe targeting might not even be an automatic ejection in high school. I should probably know that, but like I said, I haven't seen it called not nearly as much. Like, I think in 4 years I've had one targeting penalty, and like I said, I don't see it as nearly as much as we do in college. So,
no. Okay, Jay, question for Coach?
Well, I mean, listen, kudos to all that you're doing over there in Cherry Hill. Did you say you were from Gibbsboro, right?
Yeah, so I grew up in Gibbsboro, graduated from Eastern. Now I'm in Blackwood now. So.
Okay. All right. So, I mean, I usually, ask some questions, but right now I kind of want to know, I'm thinking about football. I'm thinking about a lot of different things. Who's your favorite NFL team? I know, from what Randy's saying and you're saying that you're a big college football guy, but as far as NFL, do you have a team? Do you have a favorite?
No, I don't have a team, honestly. My buddy's wife works for the Giants right now, so I root for the Giants. Dude, I'm a football fan. I'm a football guy. I watch the NFL every Sunday. I put on the Red Zone channel and just watch football. I'll watch Kent State versus Akron on a Tuesday night. Like, dude, I'm just a football junkie. I can't get enough of it, but I enjoy the game. I don't follow one program.
Okay. Even as a kid growing up, you didn't.
Yeah, as a kid growing up. So it's funny. I had two teams when I was a little kid. I was a big Thurman Thomas and Jim Kelly fan, so I love the Buffalo Bills. And then I was a Jacksonville Jaguars fan growing up. I had my whole room painted teal and black for the Jacksonville Jaguars. So Jimmy Smith and Mark Brunell, yep. So my claim to fame was I went down to the coaching convention a few years ago, and I actually played Jimmy Smith in cornhole and beat him in cornhole. So that was pretty. Or not Jimmy Smith, Keenan McCardo. I'm sorry, I beat Keenan McCardo in cornhole. So that was fun.
They were fun teams. Now, one other thing too is, Coach, I know that you yourself have a podcast called the Coach's Challenge.
Correct.
So tell us a little bit about that.
So it was a couple years ago. It was like Christmas time, and I'm like, I was a mass communications major in college. I've always been into media, film. You know, I love writing short stories, filming stuff, like movies, stuff like that. Dude, I love talking. Like, I love like this stuff. I could do it all day. But yeah, I was like, let me start up my own podcast and see how it goes. And I'm just gonna, I'm gonna talk to coaches, but I don't want to talk X's and O's. I want to talk personal stories. I want to know people's backgrounds and where they came from and how they got to where they are. So I started the podcast called Coach's Challenge. We did like, I don't know, 30,000 hits like the first couple episodes. It was pretty sick. And then it just kept on going. I haven't done it probably in close to like 6 months. I think my last episode was about 6 months ago, and I'll fire it up after the season finishes. But I just like hearing about people's stories, and I like hosting, man. I like asking the questions, and this is the first time, actually being on the other end, so it's pretty fun.
Wow.
Yeah, I think that's one of the cool things about finding the story behind it, because every coach now has a different story. Now for you, I mean, obviously, what's one story kind of in particular that sticks out of like where someone came from to where they got to? What's a coach that sticks out in your mind?
Oh man, I cannot remember off the top of my head, but one guy drove from, I think, New Hampshire. He was emailing this coach, and I cannot remember who it was, but he was emailing this coach nonstop, and he wasn't really he was kind of getting blown off. Dude, he packed up his stuff, drove from like New Hampshire to like, I think it was like Utah or something like that, and just showed up at this coach's like in the office and was like, dude, I will work for free. I need a job, blah, blah, blah. And he wound up getting hired. And like he said, I can't remember who it was, but man, that was like, dude, the perseverance talking to these guys, like, when I coached in college, man, like people think that it's all glitz and glam, but it's not, man. Like you're like half of these guys are making $6,000-$7,000 a year. Like I'm eating ramen noodles. I'm like 28-year-old grown man eating ramen noodles for dinner. Like the stories that these guys have of perseverance and getting to where they want to be, like, dude, it's incredible. And like I was there, man. Like, I have some similar stories like that, but just hearing some of these guys, like, where they came from and their upbringing and how they got to where coaching football is like the ultimate fraternity, man. So these guys are pretty willing to talk about it, and it's pretty incredible to hear some of this stuff.
No, absolutely. Coach, you got anything?
Can you kind of take us through your season, how it's going, talk about some of your players and just kind of what you guys got coming up?
Yeah. So we started out, man, we were supposed to have a big showcase game down in Ocean City called Battle at the Beach. We opened up with Moorestown. So it was like the last weekend in August, and we're playing on Sunday. We're playing the first game on Sunday. So we drive down to Ocean City High School, which I don't know if you guys ever been there, but it's a great venue, great backdrop. It's pouring rain, and we can't even go out for warm-ups. And long story short, we were supposed to start at 12. At like 1 or like 12 o'clock or 11:30, they came in and said, we're not playing the games here. So we had to drive all the way back. My athletic director was there. All the teams were there, obviously. We wound up playing the game back at East. We played against Moorestown, and we wound up driving home, setting up the field. It was crazy. So it was a crazy way to start the year. We played Moorestown. We wound up driving down the first drive of the game, scoring. I'm like, all right, this will be cool. Like we're rolling. And then we wound up getting smoked a little bit. Moorestown's a good football program. So We kind of went through the ringer here with the first 3 games. I think we played Moorestown, who's like 3-1. Nottingham is undefeated. Paul 6, we had a tough game against. We wound up losing 14-7. A really good Paul 6 team, I think. And then we got our first win last week against Princeton. We won 28-21. It was the first, and this is kind of a sign of the things changing a little bit. It was the first game since I've been there that we actually came back in the fourth quarter and won. So we were down in the fourth quarter and won. Whereas we used to, the old Cherry Hill East, would be down in the fourth quarter and stay down. These guys are, showing signs of resiliency and perseverance, and we were able to come down from a fourth quarter deficit and beat a Princeton team who's much improved. We had a bye week this week, man, and we're rolling in. We got Atlantic City, another tough game on Friday night. I think Atlantic City's like 3-1 or 3-1 now. So it don't get any easier, man, but we're competitive, and we got a couple. We're young. Like, we got our quarterback's a sophomore, junior running back. We've only got one senior on the receiving corps. So we're young, like I said. So it's kind of hope for the future, but dude, I'm ready to, like, these guys can win now, and I'm ready to win now. So that's what I want to do.
Yeah, I mean, I can hear it. I can hear it in your voice, just like, like you were saying, you breathe football. Like, you're ready to get out there and play this week's game now.
Yeah.
And it's interesting you said, too, how you guys went back and you got your field ready. Now, that was something that didn't always happen. Like, Cherry Hill East didn't even have its own field for a long time. We had the practice field back in the back, and we used to play our home games at Cherry Hill West.
Correct.
So just the fact that Cherry Hill East has their own football field is, like, to me, mind-boggling.
Wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's an uphill battle, man, because we got a field. We got a beautiful turf field. We got the new scoreboard last year. Like, the question's always been lights. How do you, like, dude, what school spirit activity is bigger or more of a bonding event than Friday night lights and going to the football game? Dude, you could be 0-10 and you're still going to have a crowd at your football game because it's something to do. So that's been an uphill battle. I didn't realize when I took the job how big of a battle it's been. It's not going to be easy, but it's something that we're trying to do, and just transform the stadium a little bit. You think of ways like, how could we promote the program? How could we build school spirit? Dude, we could be 9-0 and nobody's coming to a game at 11 o'clock on a Saturday morning. Like, that's just the way it is. Like, so,
Wow.
that's where we're at right now. All we can do is what we can control, man. So, our kids go out there and they work hard at practice every day. They go out there every Friday or Saturday whenever we're playing and work hard. And, they let me handle all that administration stuff and behind the scenes stuff. Like, dude, nobody complains. Like, it is what it is. And that's how we have to kind of live with it.
Get the portable lights. The portable lights. Well, that's what we do down in
Man. I tried that too. It got shot down.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
So we'll
Listen,
see.
that weekend, that Battle of the Beach weekend was crazy. That was like, was it Ida, or it was like it was like the rep.
I don't think it was Ida. I just think it was and it was rain all weekend, and it was supposed to blow through. It was supposed to blow through Sunday morning, and it just kept on. That cell just kept on growing and growing, and I've never seen nothing like it, man. The Ocean City field was completely ruined. Absolutely,
Yeah.
I've never seen nothing like it. So
Pennsgrove was supposed to play Saturday, 11 o'clock. Oh man, he said, "Come down, watch the game." I said, "Nah, it's about to rain, bro. I ain't coming." I'm glad I didn't, because the game got delayed at halftime for like 3 hours.
Yeah.
dude, I think they got done. The marquee game was DeMatha and Holy Spirit on Saturday night. I think they got that game done at like 1 a.m. because of all the
1 a.m.
delays and stuff.
It was delayed, man.
Yeah.
So that was a crazy weekend, though. Crazy rain, though, man.
Well, no,
Crazy rain.
you're talking all the time, too, about, promoting the East program. And like I said, we can definitely continue to try to promote it just on
Absolutely.
our podcast. One of the things we've been trying to do, and maybe we can work it out, is to come out and do a little live interview from one of your games, promote East football a little bit, highlight yourself, maybe highlight, the other school you're playing. And we can talk about that down the line. Always trying to find ways to grow our podcast also. So maybe we can help each other out in that sense.
Absolutely, man. I think that would be a cool deal, and just dude, any way to kind of promote South Jersey football and, get the game going, back in the right direction here.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, we've been very fortunate to have some coaches on and just continue to get more. And I know, Coach, I'm kind of stealing your thunder here.
Go for it.
But one of the questions we always ask is
damn.
It kind of was a good lead.
No,
good lead
he
in.
led right into it.
It was a good lead. Is we're always talking about connections in the community that you may have of coaches who feel that would be great interviews, and we're willing to probably jump on the podcast and continue to help it grow.
Dude, I got a couple right off my head, man. Like, I saw you guys talk to Garrett. Garrett's a good dude.
Yeah.
On my podcast, I had Move Scanlon from Clearview. No brainer. Great interview. Great to talk to. Mike Schatzman from Washington Township, dude. Like there's a lot of good young coaches in South Jersey that are hungry to not only grow their programs but promote, and get their names out there, myself included. Like, dude, Mike Schatzman at Township and like I said, Move at Clearview. Dude, those are two guys that I could talk to for hours. Like, you talk to Mike and ask him how he raised like $50,000 in one event for his program, man. It was a good story.
I'm definitely gonna ask him that.
Yeah.
The one thing Randy forgot to throw in with that, the caveat with that question is you have to start the introductions for us to help us get them on the show.
I'm confused, man. I got to start the introduction. What do you mean?
So you got to put us in contact with those two guys.
Oh, no doubt. I'll text them right now, and they'll come on.
Right.
Yeah,
They'll come on with no problem.
Basically, what I'm just saying,
Here's the caveat, though. I want to be on again once a month.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh yeah, no,
We don't have to talk about Cherry Hill East, man. We just come out here and shoot the breeze, man.
Hey, listen. Hey,
like
no problem. Hey, listen. I definitely heard you say you write short stories and all that too. Listen, I'd be interested in talking even further about stuff like that too. You know what I mean?
Fun fact, man. And I won't disclose too much, but on air. But afterwards, we could talk. I wrote a short story last year, or a film. Had it filmed at my house. Sent it into festivals. They won like 18 awards,
Wow.
18 festivals.
Wow.
So, yeah.
That's cool.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's
that's
what's up.
cool. That's
I
cool.
can't put it out there though because it's rated R. So
Right, I understand.
Well, maybe we can get a sneak peek copy on the side there.
it's fine, man.
It's all good. Let's go Yankees. But that's what I was saying.
What?
Let's go Yankees. I'm just saying. I'm multitasking in my mind.
Oh my
you know
goodness!
What I'm saying?
No, Coach, that's awesome. Like I said, and we would love to have you back on once a
For
month.
real.
To talk not just football, to talk life, talk about other things.
Yeah. Talk Ben Simmons.
Well, yeah, we'll talk Ben Simmons.
Oh, yeah.
We'll talk some Ben Simmons. Let me ask you this: I know you're not a basketball fan, Coach. You say you don't watch it, but I'm sure you listen to sports and whatnot.
Sure.
And you know that what's going on with Ben Simmons, or hopefully you do. What would be your take as a teammate of Ben Simmons, or if you could talk to Ben Simmons, what would you say?
Pass. Like, dude, you don't no, and I don't mean pass on the question. I mean, dude, you don't even want to take a meeting with your teammates to try and smooth things over, man. Like, dude, I'm you can go to somewhere else. Like, we'll rock with the guys we got, man.
No heart. He's soft. No heart.
Absolutely.
Same thing with Wentz, man. And I don't know, like I was listening earlier, like you might be a big Carson Wentz fan, but like, dude, that guy quit on his team.
Coach, you came at me hard there, Coach.
Yeah, but I'm sorry, bro. I got strong Carson Wentz feelings, man.
Wait a minute, time out. I know that me and you spoke, but did you talk to these guys on the side?
No. I got strong feelings about Wentz, dude.
That's right.
You know what? I'm going to open that can of worms real quick, and I want to hear your feelings on Carson Wentz.
Dude, he's probably the first most overrated quarterback in the NFL, honestly. But
hello,
I don't like you can't go AWOL on your team, man. Like that's and you talk about Wentz, you talk about Ben Simmons, like dude, you're quitting. You don't even want to contact with your teammates or anything like that. I think Wentz had one good year, and it was a product of a system, but I don't think he's very good, man.
Yeah, one good moment. What's that song? One shining moment. Yeah. One shining moment.
The NBA tournament song.
and I mean, everybody was just enamored and in love, and then made excuses.
And guess what, man? That's not and that's not Carson Wentz's fault. That's the overvaluation of NFL quarterbacks in today's society. Because you talk about a guy like Justin Fields or something, you think he's God's gift to earth, but he hasn't even played a game. And I don't even know what he did today. But we overvalue these quarterbacks so much, and we put them on a pedestal, and we set unrealistic expectations.
26 to 6.
Now I'm going off.
No, we like it.
Coach, this is phenomenal, and we love the added dynamic. And even a guy like Trevor Lawrence, even though as
Same.
much as he's out, look what he's doing.
Coach, I take it you weren't a quarterback?
I'm sorry?
I said I take it you were not a quarterback?
I was a full scholarship quarterback. I don't look like it, but I was.
No, I just the way you were coming out, I didn't think you were a
No,
quarterback.
that's why I'm tough on them, because, like, let's be honest, like, build a resume first. Build a resume first, and then crown yourself king.
Wow.
Yeah.
I like
Coach, I like you, bro. Like you, bro.
It was a long time. I know you said you listen, and then I mean, it is like you said, very interesting to talk about the quarterback dynamic. And for a long time, I did defend Carson
for a very long. A very, very long time. He loved Carson Wentz.
I did. I mean,
he could do no wrong. It was everybody else's fault, but Carson's.
Dude, I just like looking at it from a QB's perspective. Like, there's just things that he does that I didn't particularly think translated well to the NFL. But, like, dude, I keep that stuff to myself because I try and maintain a unbiased opinion when I'm, from social media and stuff like that. So.
I got you.
I like it.
I got you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Coach, before we let you go, you have any questions do you like to throw at us or anything that's on your mind?
Yeah. So, like, you guys are trying to promote, South Jersey football and stuff like that. Like, what are your thoughts on the state of football in South Jersey, or the state of football in general, basically, at the high school level?
Well, I mean, I think that it's been coming up more than ever before. I just, like, for example, I know I talk about, like, when I was coaching at Timber Creek High School, we had the Leary brothers, and they're Devin and Donovan. Devin just led NC State
to beat Clemson last night, man.
Yeah, a huge victory over Clemson last night. So I think that you're seeing that. You're seeing guys right now. The kid out of Delran, I'm losing track of his name, but he's a linebacker now starting.
RJ.
Yeah, RJ Moten. Thank you. So I think you're seeing guys from
even
this area.
Even Rutgers last night, like, it's crazy. So sorry.
Absolutely, no, that's fine. Like I said, and I'm a Michigan fan, so I'm sitting there and I'm like, Brian, we're gonna lose to Rutgers, which is okay because it's a different Rutgers scene than it used to be. You had 2-3 and also I think Michigan is not Michigan anymore, but that's a whole nother story we can get into. But I think that when you're seeing these players make the impact on these big stages, like to everyone yesterday seeing NC State and Devin Leary, I think now it's growing more than ever before.
Sure, I agree. I think there's like South Jersey is such a hotbed of talent that's kind of coming to the forefront now with, like you said, with Leary, with Moten, the guys from the guys at Rutgers from South Jersey, like Lewis and Pacheco. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but he played at Vineland. Like, I think South Jersey has got really good football, and it's fun to see it kind of come to the forefront, and everybody kind of starting to respect it a lot more.
Absolutely, and even Jay, where you were down at Pennsgrove, I mean, the football team was fantastic.
No, absolutely. I mean, I was fortunate. We went undefeated for 2 years. We lost to Willingboro in that second championship game at Rutgers. First year we beat them at Giant Stadium. But I think it sounds to me like, even with the Cherry Hill, I was kind of pondering and thinking about, like, wow, because I mean, Cherry Hill East, they got money, so it's not a lack of money. Okay, so I think it's just sometimes certain schools are just not known for it. Like, I mean, Coach, you was like a star at Cherry Hill, so they would be coming out for that basketball game, I'm sure, though, or maybe a baseball.
They still do,
and they still do. So
yeah, they do.
I think it's like you just got to kind of build it up, and then you're changing, like, the paradigm, like where you see, Cherry Hill or this school is just not a football school, but then you bring in talent, you bring in coaching, good coaching, and then you change that paradigm. So I think, like, because Pensgrove, I mean, listen, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, don't matter. We coming out to the game. But then it's a small community that is like.
Sure. And it's tough. It is tough when you got a high school on the other side of town, like, you know, that you could rally behind too. So you got two high schools in the same district. But yeah, no, I agree. And you know, when it comes to keeping kids at East rather than going to West, man, like all I could do is sell myself, sell my coaching staff. I can't sell the facilities or anything like that because you go to West and dude, it's not the same. But you know, we got to do a better job of, like I said, keeping the kids that are on the East side here at East. So,
well, let me ask you a question. Being all, you know, I mean, you're not a Cherry Hill guy per se because you're not from there, but you coach there, so you know all the Cherry Hill guys. Did y'all root for West? Or no. You never rooted. You never. No. So if Cherry East was done,
my good friend coaches at West, and I still hope they lose.
So even if they were done, even if Cherry Hill East was done, and a team from Cherry Hill East West, Cherry Hill West, you wouldn't root for them if they were in the finals or like that?
No, I didn't want to hear.
Not unless, like,
you understand what I'm saying?
I do understand what you're saying. The
and
only
you see where I'm going too, though. I know you do.
I know exactly where you're going. The only way I root for Cherry Hill West at anything, is because I have a personal connection with the coach or a player. That's the only way.
Not the town.
It has nothing to do with
here we go.
If East is out of it and West is in it, I hope West loses their next game.
Well, coach, wait till you hear where this is going.
Wow, that's amazing to me,
dude. I'm the same way though. Like, I'm not a Cherry Hill guy, man. But you know, I coach there now, obviously. But you know, the head coach over at West now is a friend of mine, Justin Arabia, and you know, I shoot him texts all the time and wish him luck and congratulate him and stuff like that. So, but that's a private message. I didn't know on Twitter. So.
Exactly.
I hear you. Listen, I hear you. Well, listen, Coach. This has just been a fantastic interview. You know, and looks like, and we are really excited to join another team member to our podcast. You know, I know you said you're going to join us, and we're definitely going to take you up on that. And just, you know, it's been great. It's been, you know, your energy has been awesome this show, and we really strongly appreciate you joining us. For sure. Looking forward to having you back on, and I'm definitely going to get in contact with you about these other coaches that we can have on, and we'll be continuing to be in contact. And I really enjoyed you having on or coming on.
No doubt, man. I appreciate you guys having me. It's been a lot of fun. Like, dude, this is me, man. Like, I just enjoy talking and talking football. And like I said, I got a thing for media and production. And I think this is cool. If I wasn't coaching football, I'd probably be doing something in film and entertainment, something like that. So I appreciate it, man. This is a lot of fun.
That's definitely appreciate you, and I appreciate you sincerely for, you know, trying to open up my partner's eyes a little bit to this whole Carter thing. It's just you're helping him, and I'm sincerely grateful.
Did he play? I haven't seen, man. Did he play today or no?
He played. They lost, but he played 100% of the snaps. So he, you know,
so you guys you guys are that much closer to a draft pick then, right?
Exactly. Yep.
Good for you, man. All right, appreciate you guys, man. Thank you.
Absolutely. We'll catch up with you down the road, Coach.
All right, sounds good.
All right.
Let's give it up. Let's give it up for Coach.
Oh man, I mean,
let's give it up for.
Yeah, I mean, Coach was phenomenal interview. Absolutely. I mean, absolutely phenomenal interview. I know if you just tuning in or catching that was head boys football coach from Cherry Hill East, Andrew Daly. Go back and check that interview out. It was not just about football, but about life and some really cool tidbits that he shared with us kind of about himself too. And I know he's going to be joining us again, as he said. I'm excited to have him coming back on. A great football mind and just a great guy, it seems like. So once again, thank you very much, Coach. You know, one of the things that we always talked about is about, you know, just growing it. And like when you see the names of different players in the area, like we were talking about the quarterbacks from this area on the big stage, you know, you do have a sense of that pride, you know, and you find yourself, you know, rooting for new teams. Like I said, I saw NC State was winning and you want to see that happen. You know, before we wrap up, you know, the show tonight, and we had a phenomenal show in general. You know, we kind of touched on the Ben Simmons issue a little bit with Coach there and what his thoughts were. But I want to get those thoughts. And also, tomorrow night we have the Eagles and the Cowboys with a big Monday night showdown with Nick Sirianni's first primetime game. So, Coach, I want to get your thoughts on that and your prediction that you have. But, Coach, I want to get first your thoughts on Ben Simmons.
I mean, it's a problem. Like, training camp starts on Tuesday.
Right.
And there's no solution. There's not going to be a solution anytime soon. So now it's just, like Jay always said, it's a distraction. And now, the one thing, and I was listening to Danny Green's podcast earlier today, and he said that, of course, they asked him about it and what was going on, and they asked him about the players taking the trip out to L.A. and him denying them that, whatever. And he said, the only problem he had with it, he gets it, he understands, Ben feels like he was let down by the organization. He gets that. But he says his friends, or they thought they were friends, were coming out to LA to talk to him as a friend, not as 76ers, not as an organization. We were coming out there as his boys to say, like, yo, what's up? What's going on? Trying to figure it out. And for him to turn that down, kind of like, I guess we just got to move on. And hopefully that's kind of the thought process. We just got to move on. And we can't. It's Daryl Morey's problem. That's the only person's problem it is right now. And hopefully if the Sixers can take that approach, it's only going to help players like Tyrese Maxey, like Matisse Thybulle, because they can't be sitting there thinking, all right, well, if he comes back, then my playing time's it. No. Tyrese Maxey, you're the point guard.
That's it.
And you have to have that mindset. And if hopefully they give him that mindset, and then whatever happens with Ben happens. He's not coming back.
No.
But it's just a matter of who we get for him and all that kind of stuff. So,
Jay, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think it's disgusting. I think Ben is soft. I think that, well, first of all, some part of me thinks is this like a Drew Rosenhaus TO type of situation?
Well, Rich Paul's gotten all his agents out, not agents, excuse me, all his clients out from where they wanted.
Yeah, but but sometimes you can, have a little faux pas. And this might be one of those ones, especially with that negative media attention with the Nerlens Noel situation. It's just not good publicity. Like Ben, I don't see Ben being a winner in any of this, even after he's traded. Okay, because I don't see it. And this doesn't, because to me and I'm not trying to throw a dig at you, and I think you might think that, but it's like the Carson Wentz thing. And I'm only bringing him up to say that I knew that he wasn't going to be successful because it's a character thing. And I think that
I can't argue that.
Those type of players that are willing to humble themselves and look in the mirror and say, oh, you're talking shit about me? Yo, see, that to me, I only wake up when you start talking shit. When you start talking shit, you tell me I can't do something, or I can't this, or you're not this, or whatever, then I come alive. Other than that, I'm on cruise control because I don't have nothing threatening me. Mm-hmm. But if you threaten me or you bring something against me, then I activate. And it's a mentality. And when I see people that, kind of like shiver up from the moment or run from the moment or don't want to look at themselves in the mirror and want to blame everything else, get out of here. Get out of here. You this is addition by subtraction. Okay. Now I get it. I would feel hurt because they was burning his shit. I forgot about that.
That's true.
I saw that this week again. I was like, yo, they was burning his jersey. So that had to hurt.
But that was after all. But that was all his talking. I'm not coming. I'm out.
No. They burned it after that game.
You're talking about that.
Yeah, right. After that game 7.
They burned his jersey after the game. So that hurt. I respect Matisse Thybulle, but I feel like he was late with it. Like if you taking the blame for something and I know that it wasn't Like you're like really, it could be construed that you were to blame. Like I would have to speak up. I
No,
can't
you're
let
right.
you take the blame
That's
for
like
something.
someone, you be in jail for 6 years. Someone's like, listen, it was my fault. I was the one.
Yeah, like
But no. Who's talking to Matisse Thybulle? Nobody's asking Matisse Thybulle what he
no, but nobody was asking him before. He
went
came
on.
out.
Well, he went on a podcast and
And,
asked him about it.
but they didn't ask him about like, yo, what
What do
they
you think
asked.
about Ben Simmons? What do you think about? That's how it came out.
Oh, okay.
But I'm
And-
saying I agree with you. But if I'm saying that from Tobias, from Embiid, from the players who have a voice,
okay. Okay,
I agree with that. But Matisse
That's
is
fair.
what he was second year, like
Yeah, I got you.
whatever. But Tobias hasn't said one.
Not one
Even,
word.
at least Embiid tried to say something,
Right.
and then he backtracked.
Right.
Tobias hasn't said one word.
Because Tobias is like, yo, listen, man, like, yo, that's a sucker move.
Yeah, but I don't
There's
think
some
I don't
ball
think
players
Tobias is that kind of guy either. I don't.
But to say something? Nah, he's that kind
You're
of guy.
getting paid $30 million.
Yeah,
You're
he's
the
No,
highest
I'm
player
saying,
playing on the
no,
team.
but I'm not saying based on contract that you shouldn't be that guy. I just don't know if he is that kind of guy.
As far as character,
Yeah.
he's a New Yorker. Now, New Yorkers talk.
Yeah.
New Yorkers
Apparently
talk
not
shit.
this New Yorker. Maybe
No,
he's from
New
Buffalo.
Yorkers talk shit.
He could talk when he said I'm an all-star.
That's what I'm saying. New Yorkers
No, but
talk
he might
shit.
be from Buffalo though.
He could.
No, he's from Long Island. No, real talk. No, real talk.
No, I know
he's from
Long
Long Island. So no, he could talk. But my thing is, I always saw that was the turning point of the game, the Matisse play, not the Ben play.
You did say that.
You
Yeah.
always said that.
I've always said that, but the media. So this and so I go with Kyrie Irving on this one. He says the media always has narratives. So this was a narrative about trying to pin it on Ben. So the media is to play in some way, but JoJo fell into it. He didn't know how to express his frustration, and Doc did too.
But do you think? Okay, so that game, right? They're blaming Simmons for that game. Blah blah blah. He didn't take the shot. Blah blah blah. He missing his free throws. I feel like the blame is not really about that game. It's about Ben Simmons moving forward.
That's
is
the
why
issue.
everybody's getting on him.
Right.
So
That's the issue.
you're showing who you are. So
That's it.
forget that game. We lost the game. Joel played terrible in the game. He had
Right.
8 turnovers. Matisse did his thing.
Right.
Nobody could guard Kevin Huerter. Like there was a bunch of things.
Right.
Doc was Doc.
Right.
Like a bunch of stuff happened. But what are we gonna do? This is supposed to be a championship level team. But Ben, what are you doing moving forward?
Right.
You can't make foul shots. You're scared to shoot the ball.
Right.
It's not about that game. It's about what's happening.
What's
moving
happening
forward.
for? But see, he doesn't view himself as that.
Oh, I completely agree.
And that's the problem. He's not in a humble mindset.
No.
You know what I'm saying? And that's the sad thing about it is that LeBron has to have some reach on him because that's LeBron's guy that's representing him, right? So to say like, dude, like, I mean, nothing. I mean, you're not, dude, like, yo, you don't want to go back? You don't want to go back and try to improve? Like you're running, like you will always be known as the person that ran. And I'm telling you, he will always be average at best. He will never be a superstar.
Here's what I agree with you about LeBron. This is what I don't understand. If you want to get out and you want to have some leverage, go to the podium and say, I messed up. I didn't play well. I got to get better. I'm going to get better moving forward.
Right.
Then I'm going into Daryl Morey's office. Trade me. I'm out of here.
I'm out of here because I ain't like that shit.
And then now we can work with
We
something.
can work with something.
Think about James Harden. As much as you don't like James Harden.
Right.
James Harden caused all of those problems last year.
Right.
First game of the season, comes out and gets 45 and 19.
Right.
And then starts playing terrible.
Right.
Just to show everybody, I still got it. I just don't want to do it here.
Right.
So now Houston can make the trade that they want to make for him.
Right.
And he gets to where he wants to go.
Right. But Ben, see, the thing about it is that, people were bringing up during the week about how Jimmy forced his way. And, even, at the end of the day, Ben ain't on that damn
He's not
level.
that level.
No.
He's not
Those
on that
guys-
level. That's the major thing. You're not on that level. It's still is the potential of what he can be. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm Philly, get him out of there. Like, yo, make the Portland trade. I like the Portland trade.
I don't think Portland wants to make the trade.
Well, the more Ben is like, nah, I don't want this, I don't want that. Like the teammates to me, I'm like, yo, I'm going. Like, look him, I'm going. What do you mean don't go? What do you mean don't go? I'm still going. Like, yo, dude, let's talk, man. What's good? Like, it didn't have to even be like publicized, like, oh, they going. Nah, just fucking go.
I don't think it would have been publicized if they went. I think it got publicized because he said, nah, don't come. I think if that meeting
somebody had to leak it though.
Let's leak it that he told him not. I think if that meeting happens, we might never find out about it.
Right. But see, my thing is that's a Rich Paul thing. I think it's a Rich Paul thing.
Agreed.
Rich Paul, no, they only come in because they are being summoned. And maybe so. Maybe there is some politicalness to that. But at the end of the day, like the way that you're going about things, you look like a baby.
No,
you're coming across like you're a victim. You're not victim. You know what I'm saying? You're not victim. These people pay you a lot of money for you to be good and for you to improve your game. Like any job out there, if you're not performing on the job or you need to do something better with the job, then you're going to have to work on it. And you're not working on it.
Nope.
That's what I'm saying. I think he's been spoiled. I think I see now he's spoiled. He doesn't have the toughness. Get his ass out of there. You don't even want him on your team anyway because he doesn't talk. Harden, you can say whatever you wanted to say about Harden. I've been saying a lot of stuff about Harden, but you never heard me say he don't got the toughness.
Oh yeah.
You've never heard me complain about anybody, even Paul George. I'll say that a little bit. But matter of fact, I don't even say it. I just say that he shrivels up. You know what I'm saying? But not about
he wants to do it.
But he wants to do it.
It's just not always.
It's just not always happening for him. Ben's like, nah, yo, listen, nah, I don't even like. He's like Carson Jr. I promise you.
Yeah.
They're the same. They're one and the same.
You're
Addition by subtraction.
Right.
And I'm saying, you're going to see Hurts beat Dak tomorrow. This way you hear it first, because I'm telling you that he done had to persevere. He wants that moment. He knows that everybody is like against him.
Yeah.
See, there's those are clutch players. Those are the players that you want. Like, you know what I'm saying? Ben? Nah.
No, he's not.
Nah. He's soft.
So your prediction, you got the Eagles beating the Cowboys tomorrow night. What's your
handedly?
Okay. All right. So what you got a score prediction?
Got no score prediction, but I can tell you they're gonna win the W.
Okay.
They're gonna get it.
Coach?
I think Dallas is the better team. Both teams have some injuries, some major injuries. I think it's a high-scoring game. I think Dallas wins.
Okay.
31-27.
Ooh, yeah. I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head though with tomorrow night. I like what you said, Jay, and I agree with you. I think Hurts is going to come out tomorrow night. I think that a lot of it's going to depend on Sirianni and some of his coaching decisions. I mean, I'm excited about it. I mean, I know that some people were frustrated after the loss to the Niners at home, but it's still a growing pains. I like the Eagles to come out and win tomorrow night. I like a 29-23 victory. I know kind of a weird score, but 29-23 victory, and I think people are going to be excited about it. So,
I think I'm going 17-10, maybe even 17, maybe even 21-10.
Okay. All right. That means the defense is step up big time.
I see it happening.
I like it. Well, listen, with that said, let's just kind of go back. This has been a fantastic show once again. We know we had a little bit of technical difficulties to start tonight, but we appreciate once again Andrew Daly from Cherry Hill East Football joining us. A phenomenal interview. He was on about 15, 20 minutes into our show. You can catch his entire interview, not just talking about football, talking about kind of himself and his experiences and his own podcast, the Coach's Challenge, that he's going to be up and running again. And we're looking forward to watching that podcast. And also looks like we have another team member there with Andrew's going to be joining us on, and I'm excited about him joining us too.
Absolutely.
With that said, Jay, any final thoughts?
I got I'm looking through my phone, whatever, this and that, and I'm looking at Ryan Braun.
Okay.
Do you know Ryan Braun? You know Ryan Braun? So apparently he's retiring.
Yes.
What do you think of when you think of Ryan Braun?
I think it's steroids. Steroids.
Is that what you think of, Coach?
Yeah.
That's not what I think of.
What do you think?
I don't. I just think of the Milwaukee Brewers.
Yeah.
Right.
Third base. I don't think
That's it.
nothing that comes to mind.
You know what I think about? Lion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Past the steroids. You're a liar.
Yeah.
You're a liar. And that's the thing. And let me just say, let me make sure I'm clear with this. People will put on, let me turn my music down so we can hear. People will put on Oscar-winning performances, bro, and be lying. This dude was crying at the podium.
Yeah.
I believed him.
Yeah.
Everybody in America believed him, yo. And then when he could not lie no longer, that's all that. I don't know. That's what I always think
and he
about.
was never the same afterwards. He was never the same. And it's just the
and he never caught the amount of heat that Clemens
Anybody else
did.
Yeah.
No, he didn't.
Anybody else. He went under the radar of the steroiders.
Because
You know what I'm saying?
he was later. It was kind of like old news. We knew who he was.
Okay.
And the other thing too was
Okay.
he was not before that. He wasn't a big name. You know what I mean?
But it took like a year
right.
for them to find out, dude, you're lying. So that's my final thoughts. But other than that, I'm hoping that the Eagles get busy.
Okay.
And they beat the Cowboys. I'm a big fan of Hurts. I'm a big fan of this team. I'm even becoming around the Sirianni. Like, listen, you know what? You made some errors. I think the L is on you, but I just feel like the energy is different amongst Eagle fans. Like Eagle fans, they lost the game, sure, but they didn't. It was different than the last year or two.
No, it was. It absolutely was.
Different.
It was.
You didn't hear a whole lot. You didn't hear a shitload of complaining.
When we lost that game, I was like, okay. I said, it's part of the growing pains. I like what, and then come out, he take ownership, and you move forward. And then he comes out Monday rocking the Dallas t-shirt. It's like this Dallas week. And it was like, damn, this guy's really trying to connect, trying to be like one of us. So I agree.
No, I mean, they feel the energy. And that's my thing. I'm okay with that. Like I'm actually rooting for them. I can't lie to you. I am. Okay. I don't know if I'm going as far as buying the jersey, but I'm rooting for them though. I really am. I was
just about to ask you what number you're gonna get.
No, I'm not getting no jerseys. But the thing about it is the caution thing. I was okay even with Foles. It was the caution thing. The caution and the way that people just were enamored over him. Like, what? I'm like, he had a great moment. But he didn't finish no games. He ain't finished no season. And he was like Glass Joe.
Yeah, he was.
He was. Yeah, he was.
Yeah. He was. He was. I mean, look, at this point, but see, the thing I told you, that ship is over and done with. Like, it's over. I moved on. I'm not going to continue, I'm not going to bring in the old stuff into the new relationship.
Okay.
So,
we'll see.
Coach, you got anything before we wrap it up?
Nah, man, just excited for the game tomorrow. Also, NBA training camp starting on Tuesday, so that'll hopefully just bring some more drama.
Absolutely. But with that said, once again, for Jason Bryce, for Marcus Bullock, I'm Randy Dutkin. We appreciate once again Andrew Daly joining us. Catch our show. We were streaming it on the Let's Get It page and also the YouTube page, the Four Walls Foundation. You can catch that. Appreciate you guys watching and catch us next time.